What is happening, people? Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly, the wrestling show we bring you here on the upper tier, going down through all the latest news in pro wrestling. We give you a nice little look back on the week in history in pro wrestling as well. And of course, we drop some notable birthdays. Plenty to get into this week. So we're going to start off shortly. But some interesting news coming out as always from the world of pro wrestling. Um, the Iron Claw released, of course, the movie that they have made with Zac Efron about the Von Erich family. I'm waiting to see the movie. Once I've seen the movie, I will drop a review on the channel of it. But the news at the moment is that it's absolutely outstanding, that they've done a stellar job on it. 91, I think it's rating in tomatoes, on the Rotten Tomatoes, on their rating and stuff like that, which is a huge rating and stuff like that. And it's interesting news coming out about it at the moment, that it's very like kind of, if you say like Raging Bull, where it wasn't like boxing wasn't focal to it, it was more about the story, and that's what's coming through on this as well, which I'm glad to hear and stuff like that. So really excited about seeing it. Can't wait to see it. Sounds outstanding. Sounds like everyone did a stellar job. I was listening to Chavo Guerrero about it today and how he was training the people in, and he was doing all that kind of stuff as well. And I think he also played the Sheik in it, didn't he, as far as I know? So really, really interesting. Cannot wait to see it. I was a huge fan of the Von Erichs and that territory and everything and stuff like that, the Sportatorium and all the history, and the documentaries came out, and even the journey that Kevin has gone on, where he's kind of had to saddle and carry this whole Von Erich legacy around with him and stuff like that. And it was great to see some of the stars at the premiere as well. Lacey was there with her kid as well, and he was dressed in a Kerry Von Erich. He had a Kerry Von Erich ring gown and stuff like that and all. So really, really cool. So really looking forward to seeing that. But like I said, as soon as I see it, we'll drop a review on it and let you know our thoughts on it. So there you go. Let's get into the chat. First of all, Eric is in. Big up, Eric. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. And Eno's in as always. Big up, Eno. Good to see you there, my friend. So let's begin the show. And I suppose the news from last week, Charlotte Flair against Asuka in that match on SmackDown, taking a nasty bump off the top rope that went totally wrong. And we seen footage of her being helped out of the arena, as they say. And news has now come out to us that she has a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus, set to undergo surgery, and you're looking at anywhere between 9 months and a year in terms of rehabilitation, which is not great news at all, and terrible news for her, of course, as we're going into what is probably the most exciting time in a wrestler's career. You get into the Royal Rumble season and then the road to WrestleMania. She's going to miss both of them. She's going to miss Money in the Bank. She's going to miss SummerSlam. She's going to miss Backlash in France. She's probably going to miss the Bash in Berlin. She's going to miss a lot of stuff that's coming up in what's looks to be going to be an exciting year for WWE under this new ownership, as they spread their wings in this premium live. That's, of course, also Elimination Chamber in Perth as well. And this is huge earnings for them as well, because this is where they really make their money, on these big premium live events and stuff like that. So look, we wish Charlotte all the best in her recovery and stuff like that. No doubt she'll knock it out of the park. She's an absolute athlete and stuff like that. But it was a horrible bump, and a horrible move went wrong. And it just goes to show, even the best at times can get it wrong, and that's what happens, Stephen's in. Yo, yo, yo. How are you, Stephen? Good to see you, my friend. What a bump. It was a heck of a bump. Yeah, absolutely. Thank God that happened to Charlotte, not Punk. Can you imagine? Although I've seen people today putting up videos of CM Punk's first punch against Dominic Mysterio. I don't know if you've seen it, Stephen. And it's the one, where he comes off the top rope and he slips and he gets up and then he punches our forearm, man, or something like that. And they were just ripping the piddle out of him and stuff like that. If that happened to Punk, I swear, absolutely. Can you imagine? And of course, we have Punk's match coming up. He's going to have a match against Dominic Mysterio. That looks like it's going to go head to head with World's End. So it'll be interesting to see what the plan is there and what they're planning on doing. But as I said, Charlotte, we wish her all the best in her recovery. This man, we spoke about it last week as well, 1,200 plus days and counting. The tribal chief is well and truly back. Let us know your thoughts as he pushes on towards WrestleMania. How far do you think he's going to push it? Do you think they'd even push it as far as Hogan? I think they were saying once if he comes out of WrestleMania with the belt, he'd still have, I think, is it 168 days or 228 days still to go to match Hogan? Could they push it that far? And people sort of getting a little bit bored with it at this stage. It kind of feels like it has ran its course at this stage. So, but let us know your thoughts on that. Steven's in. Can't stand that fella. What a boring lad. There you go. Also, what I want to do tonight, folks, is I want to. Where is that slide out? There it is. There. I want you to tell me what was your match of 2023. What is your match of 2023? It doesn't have to be any of these. It can be any match that you want. But let us know what was your favorite match of 2023. And just to let you know, next week we're going to have a fun show. What we're going to do is we've been talking about these Collectors Corner shows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everyone, if you can, you can hit me up either on Instagram, you can hit me up on Twitter, you can hit me up on Facebook, wherever you want to hit me up. Or you can email me if you want, the uppertierpodcast@gmail.com. What I want you to do, especially if you're a collector, Stephen, you're in there, you're a collector. Eric, I'm not sure, hopefully you're a collector. But what we want to do next week's show, what we're going to do, because it's kind of like a Christmas special, there won't be a whole lot of news. There's not a whole lot going on. Everything's kind of pre-recorded. What I want to do is next week, I want you to send me in pictures of your top 5 items in your collection. And what I'll do is I'll create a slide for everyone that sends it in. And what we'll do is we'll pop the slide up there, and then you can pop into the chat and talk about it. Or if you want to come on and talk about it, it's not a problem. So it'll be kind of like a call-in show for you collectors in the chat there and stuff like that. Just a little thank you from us to say thank you very much for the support over the last year. And long may it continue. We really do love this community. And I have to say, this is my favorite show of the week. I love doing the wrestling show every midweek. It's so much fun with you guys and stuff like that. And it's great to get your thoughts on wrestling and everyone's opinions on wrestling and stuff like that. Really is good. So if you want to send me 5 pictures, whatever way you want to send it, let me know. And what I'll do is I'll create a slide for each of you. And what we'll do is we'll look at each of your collections and we'll just have a bit of fun next week. There'll be a little bit of news and all that kind of stuff as well, but we'll just have a bit of fun. Yeah, Eno reckons going to sleep on him. Eric, MJF versus Bryan Danielson in the 60-minute Ironman match at Revolution. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that mentioned today. Quality. Possibly one of my favorite matches of all time. There's a shout, Eric. Fair play. Roman Reigns put you to sleep. Absolutely. So let me know. So that's kind of the feeling for next week's show. Let me know what you think on that. And anyone who wants to take part, absolutely more than welcome. It's going to be a collector's corner, but we're going to have it for a number of people. Your top 5 items in your collection. Show us what they are. I'll show you mine. I'll pick out mine and do pictures and all. And we'll have a bit of crack next week. So just a bit of fun. Here's a question that came up the other day. I wanted to get your thoughts on this one. The Undisputed Era, arguably one of the best factions in the last, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is at this stage, absolutely controlled NXT for so long and were absolutely outstanding at every level. Let us know your thoughts on this. Was it a mistake not launching these onto the main roster? Thoughts? Let me know. What did you think of the Undisputed Era, NXT, all that kind of stuff? And was it a mistake not bringing these guys up on the main roster? Maybe in a kind of a Nexus kind of style where they came in and took over the shows and stuff like that. Let us know your thoughts on it now. Mad to think the heights that they scaled in NXT under the Undisputed Era umbrella. And now you see them now in AEW and it's all a bit weird, let's say, for me anyway, that's for sure. But let me know your thoughts on that. The Undisputed Era. Did WWE drop the ball on the Undisputed Era by not launching them into the main roster? Let us know your thoughts on that one. We've had an update on matches for day 1, of course. Roman Reigns, of course, versus Drew McIntyre. Looking forward to that one. We got Rhea, who's going to be against Ivy Nile. We're going to have Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. One I'd be a little bit concerned about. Are we going to get bloody Becky again? Who knows? And then, of course, we have a tag match. Tegan Nox and Natalya versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, which is one I'm really looking forward to. That's what's confirmed so far for day 1. Let us know your thoughts on that. Is something that you're looking forward to or what you wanted to see. Eric's in. It wouldn't have worked while Vinnie Mac was in creative control, but they held out until 2022. Things would have been far different. Yeah, absolutely, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? Imagine Hunter booking them. Hunter booking them in a creative point of view, bringing them up from NXT onto the show. He would have booked them like Evolution, wouldn't he? It would have been unbelievable. Imagine that next phase of Evolution, or a kind of an Evolution Nexus hybrid or something like that. Would have been really, really cool. Vinnie Mac would have just shit all over it. Absolutely spot on, Eric. But that's your thoughts on that and my thoughts on day one. Good news that came out, of course, the Mysterios, Ray and Dom, celebrating new contracts signed. Didn't get much detail on Ray Mysterio's one, but apparently Dominic Mysterio's one is a 5-year contract, long term. Sign him up. He's had a stellar year. And the dad hasn't done too bad either, has he? So delighted to hear that the Mysterios are sticking around and they've signed up. Sure, where else would they be going? Isn't that the talk at the moment? Let us know your thoughts on this one as well, folks. Who should face Stone Cold at WrestleMania if it happens? If you had a choice of these four, would you pick either of these four, or would you like someone else? Seeing the graphic there the other day, Sports Key to put it together, and of course, I think it was DV and Art who put together the graphics and stuff like that. So shout out to both of those, of course. But what you're thinking on this, let me know in the chat. Who would you be going for if Stone Cold is at WrestleMania 40? Who do you want to face him? Any of these four men, John Cena, Logan Paul, CM Punk, or The Rock? Or would you fancy someone else? Be interesting to get your thoughts on that. Where am I now? Just have to take a few of these out and put a few new ones in. Suppose we have to talk about Kenny Omega. Fightful Selectors reporting that although he was just recently hospitalized, Kenny Omega began feeling ill prior to his AEW Collision match last week against Ethan Page, but didn't tell many people. On Thursday, per doctor's orders, he was hospitalized, and it was then determined that he was suffering from diverticulitis. If you remember this is the digestion issue that also Brock Lesnar had that I think kept him sidelined for about, I think it was 9 to 12 months or something like that, that this requires, it's quite difficult in terms of the body. It doesn't move out of the body that quick, and it requires a whole lifestyle change and stuff like that. And we did see images up there, of course, of Kenny Omega in hospital and stuff like that, and giving us an update, but he's going to be out for a while. There's no current timetable for Kenny Omega's return, although it looks as though he has been removed from AEW's current plans. So, of course, we wish Kenny Omega all the best in his recovery. Not an easy one. Might be worth him hitting up Brock Lesnar and finding out what the issue was there and how did Brock deal with it and stuff like that. Brock's obviously a mammoth beast and stuff like that as well, but would be no harm to have a chat with Brock and how his recuperation went and stuff like that. He seemed to knock it out of the park. Eno's in Dirty Dom versus Nails. Now there's a match. Prison rules. Can you imagine? Jack is in as well. Big up, Jack. This Friday, bro, can you please do a live stream, a Christmas special one? I think on Friday, pal, I'm doing an Arsenal preview. So yeah, I mean, we can do a bit of an Arsenal preview, and of course we can have a bit of fun. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put something together. Let me know what you want me to include in it. What you mean by a Christmas special one? What do you want me to cover and stuff like that and all? Let me know what your thoughts are. But yeah, we wish Kenny a speedy recovery as there as well. Have to talk also about Raw. We have new tag champs, of course. Chelsea Green and Piper Nevin probably not too impressed at all, but the tag team's titles have changed hands. What did you make of JD and R-Truth? R-Truth now a member of the Judgment Day, and JD now has to leave the Judgment Day. What do you think this is? What does this mean? What's going to happen with JD? What's going to happen with R-Truth? Is the upshot of this, is it going to land at someone else's door? Are we going to have a problem here with Balor? Are we going to have a problem here with Priest? What's going to happen? But let me know your thoughts on this. This kind of came a little bit out of nowhere. And of course, Gunther winning as well with Miz, which means Miz can no longer challenge Gunther for the IC belt again. Some interesting stuff that came out of there as well. So interesting to see. Talk about your Christmas traditions and that. Yeah, absolutely. We can talk. Look, You know how open this show is. This show is driven by the chat always. We can talk about anything. Stephen's just dropping those punk ones again. Absolutely, Steve. 100%. Should be interesting. What you make, Stephen? What you think is first match against Dominic Mysterio coming up? Should be interesting. Yeah, it was, wasn't it, Eric? It was absolutely fantastic, and no surprise at all. Gunther is he's incredible. But I say it all the time about people. The Miz is that gatekeeper, isn't he? He's just incredible. The Miz as well. Like you can throw him into any kind of situation, and he'll make it feel a big deal and stuff like that. I have a lot of respect for the Miz, and especially the way he came up through the ranks and everything and stuff like that and all. But he is, when they talk about awesome, he is awesome, the Miz, isn't he? He's unbelievable. He can work with anyone. He's brilliant. Big shout out to Ian Kelly. Hope all is well, fella. Have a great Christmas. Absolutely. Ian's in a good spot. He'll be watching the Chelsea game tonight, I'd say. He'll be watching the Chelsea game. What else do I have for you? Need to load up a few bits. Just give me a second here. See, can I find? I have a few slides here. Unfortunately, StreamYard only allows you load 10, but I normally have loads, of course. So we'll pop this one in first, and then they take their time to load them up as well. But while that's loading, we'll talk about the ticket sales for last week's shows as per Wrestling Ticks. What did you make of this, folks? WWE Raw in Cleveland, 9,552 sold. Now, obviously, you get walk-ups and all that kind of stuff, so these are never the final figures. Dynamite from Arlington, Texas, 3,659. And then you have SmackDown Green Bay from the Reich Center, 6,240. And then AEW Collision, Curtis Culwell Center in Garland, Texas, 2,736. Now, I think the Dynamite one and I think the Collision one are quite low. Now, that was as of Saturday morning as well. So, Collision, you will get more tickets sold, I'd imagine, and walk-ups and stuff like that. But I think it's really, really important to take into account. Texas is a hotbed for wrestling. I was there. I was in Dallas for WrestleMania. But, and especially with you got the Iron Claw coming out and you got all this kind of premiere and stuff like that. So, wrestling's in people's minds, especially down in Texas with the Von Erichs and stuff like that. So I would have predicted better attendances for Dynamite and for Collision. But again, let me know your thoughts on it. What we'll try and do is we'll try and do this as part of the weekly show now, where we look back and see what the attendances and stuff are like, just to kind of gauge the mood and stuff like that. But that's a massive drop off, isn't it? Collision. We know AEW is really suffering at the moment. You can see it even on their TV. The amount of tarping off and stuff like that is absolutely crazy. But again, let us know your thoughts on that as well. Where are we, Stephen? When and where is Punk's first match? It's the same. It's on a live show. It's on a live holiday show, and I think it's. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the 30th. Is it the 30th? I think against Dominic Mysterio. And I think it's on the same night as AEW's World's End. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet whether they're going to televise it or whether it's going to be shown on the network or anything like that. I'm not too sure. So I don't know what way we're going to pick it up. My feeling is they probably do it as if they had any sense, they would do it as a network special to go up against World's End and stuff like that. People are going to want to see Punk's first match back and stuff like that. 1-0 to Newcastle Wilson. Cheers for that, Jack. Let us know if there's any other scores, folks. Drop them in there. I'm not watching the football at the moment. Eric's saying MJF claims he hasn't signed a new contract with AEW. I read that earlier, Eric. What's your thoughts on that? Hasn't signed a new contract. Could we still get what we thought was going to happen in January? I think it's still January where the contract is up. Then he'd have to serve whatever it is. I don't know if they do the 90 days no compete. So does that mean, could we have MJF at WrestleMania? Could we? Jack is in as well. 2-0 Middlesbrough. Very good. So let me know your thoughts on that. Could we see MJF rock up to Philly? Depending on whether he has a 90-day no compete or whatever. Could we see MJF in the Rumble? Imagine MJF came out as one of the secret entrances into the Royal Rumble. Imagine MJF came in and won the Royal Rumble. Good Lord. Mad. Mad, mad, mad. Let us know your thoughts anyway. Talk coming out of AEW at the moment. It's not great. The news is not great. We do have a slide for Jericho as well, so we'll look at that as well. But yeah, it's a bit kind of all over the place at the moment, stuff like that. Jericho was on the Chris Van Vliet show, and he was talking about this amount of hatred that he gets and stuff like that. I really believe Chris Jericho at the moment he's one of those guys who's real old school, who really gathers that real old school heat where guys will wait outside the building and want to kill you and stuff like that, which is a very unique situation in a in a sport now that we know is contrived, is phenomenal and stuff like that. But let us know your thoughts on that Chris Jericho segment with Chris Van Vliet they were talking about, and you know, Jericho kind of saying he doesn't care, he's in a good place and all this kind of thing and stuff, and also he's well used to at this stage. Stephen reckons AEW is muck. There you go. Shots fired. Judgment Day are going to turn face. Can't see that happening, Ian. Can't see that happening. If I got free tickets to an AEW show, I wouldn't go because all of the wrestlers are wimps. There you go. Put that out there. There you go. Smoking hot. Don't forget, this is what we're looking for tonight, folks, off you in the chat. Match of the year 2023. Who are you voting in for it? Let us know your thoughts on your match of the year for 2023. AEW for 2024 is probably make or break. It is, Eric, isn't it? You get the feeling with them as well. Are they going to have to change up things, aren't they? And they're going to have to evolve. It's nearly going to have to be 2024 for AEW is nearly going to have to be a reset. You know, Omega going out now, losing Punk, losing Jay Cargill. You know, the amount of stuff that's going on there at the moment. They're juggling a lot of balls at the moment, and they're continuing to juggle them, but eventually they're going to hit the ground. Talk coming out about substantial losses. You know, you can see the attendances aren't great either. I mean, if you put the attendances in perspective, I've seen bigger attendances. That Collision attendance, we've seen bigger attendances at OTT shows in the stadium. So there you go. So just as a benchmarker for it, you know. But yeah, 2024 could be it there, couldn't it? Ushin's in, big up Ushin. Hi Niall, good. Enzo phoned in. Enzo phoned it in heavily. He did, yeah. So I heard. Stephen as well. Probably the night Punk returned. Yeah, absolutely. That can't be now. I'm looking for your match of the year, not your moment of the year, Stephen. Your match of the year. Everyone knows the moment of the year is going to be Punk's return, I would imagine. Unless you can suggest a better one, but let me know. Personal favorite WD match, definitely KO and Sammy versus the Usos. Yeah, absolutely. For 2023. Yeah. AEW is just a wannabe WCW. There's definitely shades of it there, all right. They're happy enough to lose money, and the inmates are kind of running the asylum, so there's definitely shades of that there. Men's Survivor Series match. Really? That's interesting, Stephen, because I thought the women's Survivor Series match, the War Games match, was better than the men's. There you go, but that's just me. But again, let us know anyway. Ian's saying Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, WWF European title match, 1997 Christmas classic. Very good. But that can't be your match for 2023, I presume. But yeah, absolutely a good match. Give me your thoughts on this. Liv Morgan, arrested the other day in possession of cannabis and some cannabinoid liquid or something like that. Let us know your thoughts on this. She was arraigned and released on bond. Could this be a problem for WWE? Is this going to become a problem? You can see there she is in the ring looking absolutely amazing. And that was her mugshot from the other day as well. So we often say that makeup is the devil's work, isn't it? But there you go. But let us know your thoughts. Liv Morgan. She was out on the red carpet as well at the premiere of the Iron Claw as well, looking very well. Smoozing with one MJF as well. But let us know your thoughts on that. What an irrelevant Aegis. Absolutely. War Games 2023. Yeah, absolutely. Tammy 2.0. I wouldn't go that far now. I'm not pushing that far. I'm not pushing that far, Stephen. I see where you're going with it, but I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing that far. Um, Let us know as well, folks. Yeah, you haven't. Let us know who do you want to face Austin if Austin is at WrestleMania. Let's see what else I have for you here. Going through it here. Got a few bits up. Do 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 do. What about this man making his return? Talk to me about AJ Styles, lads, coming out absolutely jacked to the gills. Looked absolutely massive. And this picture I thought was quite fitting because, of course, we had the return of Randy Orton, and Randy Orton looks absolutely jacked to the gills and looks the business. But let me know your thoughts on this. AJ coming out and kind of upstaging him somewhat. What did you make of AJ's return? Looks absolutely monstrous, doesn't he? Crazy, crazy size. He's been putting in the hard hours, I'd say, in the gym while he's been away and out injured and stuff like that. But he looked absolutely ginormous, didn't he? Dazzler with long hair. Yeah, absolutely. And in more bad news, I read the other day as well. Let me know, Charles. Also, sorry, I forgot to remember. I just seen today, WWE have actually signed Bray Wyatt to a Legends deal, and all the proceeds from that Legends deal are going to go to Bray's kids and JoJo, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Great news today. Mike Rotunda confirmed it today. So that's a nice little move from WWE there at a time where they sometimes get a lot of heat over stuff. Sometimes they do these good little things. But Bray Wyatt signed to a Legends deal. All the proceeds of that deal will be going to Bray's kids and JoJo. So that's fantastic news today. I don't know if you've got to see it. Dazzler with long hair. Dazzler wishes he was that jacked. I wish I was that jacked. Also, bad news we got to talk about WWE. Formerly known as Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, talked there that they've stopped the negotiations with AEW. So could we see Sasha Banks potentially back at the Rumble as well? Let us know your thoughts on that. Interesting news that came out there the other day. I was reading it, but apparently contract negotiations or something like that have stopped with Mercedes Moné and AEW, which won't be good news for AEW by the sounds of things. Let me see what else do we have here. I have a catalogue of stuff here. 6. Just trying to find some of this stuff, folks. We got our first look at the poster as well for Backlash France. Let us know your thoughts on that. Interesting. They're not giving too much away in terms of the poster, of course, which we kind of would expect. But let us know your thoughts. Backlash in France. Any of you thinking of going? Anyone interested in heading to it? I missed that one. That one's coming in now. But let us know your thoughts on that poster for Backlash France that was released the other day. Certainly an interesting one. They're certainly pushing the boat out at the moment with these wrestling documentaries, aren't they? Warner Brothers Discovery has announced a new wrestling reality 6-part series called Big Little Brawlers, which will follow athletes in the Micro Wrestling Federation, and it premieres on January the 9th, 2024 on Discovery Channel. That's one that we're going to follow, folks. I think this could be a lot of fun. I haven't gone and looked at the Federation and stuff like that. I might have a look at that before next week and stuff like that. But this could be kind of a little twist on Wrestlers, the one that was on earlier in the year on Netflix and stuff like that. So it could be a lot of fun. So be interesting to see how this goes. But could be a lot of fun. Real throwback for me as well, especially in history when you look back at those the wrestlers from yesteryear and stuff like that. Little Beaver and the Haitian Kid and all those guys and all. Absolutely class. Eric is in. Roman is absent, of course. Ideally, this means he's not the champion anymore. Could be the case, couldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I took out of it, Eric. Remember Dink? I do remember Dink. Absolutely. O'Shea's in. If Punk was on the poster, I'd be tempted to go to France. That could happen. That could happen. Do you remember the Bundy versus Hillbilly Jim Mania 3 with the little lads? Yeah, remember Bundy took them out, absolutely destroyed them. It was in it was a little beaver, the Haitian kid and all. And remember the job Bundy did on them in the end. Acers is in 1-0 to Fulham. Big result there. If it happens. What else have we got? Let's see. Let's see. Would you be interested? Would you watch this show? Are you going to watch this show? I think it'd be worth tuning in for. I think it'd be a bit of fun. Let's see what else we have. Painful the way they only allow me upload so many, because so much happens in the week in wrestling and stuff like that. So this is the last one to go up anyway. Royal Rumble, of course, we're on the road to the Royal Rumble as it stands, but obviously Cody and Punk confirming their entrances into the Royal Rumble, and I think we also had Bailey confirming that as well. So we've got 3 so far confirmed for their Royal Rumble matches, which is going to be pretty interesting. But I'd imagine over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have more and more people declaring themselves into that situation, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I started Mania 10 yesterday. Not the best. Yeah, it's a bit of a troll. It's a bit of a troll, Stephen, to say the least. Absolutely. Eno's in. Have you checked out CCW Coastal Championship Wrestling? Absolutely interesting. I haven't. Haven't had a minute. I'm flat out at the moment with Christmas. It's absolutely crazy at the minute trying to get stuff out and get stuff in. You're going to the Rumble, aren't you? I am indeed, O'Shea. I'm heading to the Rumble. I'm flying out on the 24th of January, and I'm back, I think, the morning of the 1st. So we'll do some live videos from over there and stuff like that, and we'll do some shorts and all that kind of stuff. So you'll still get your fill of wrestling that week and stuff like that. I might be going to the beach shop to meet Hogan. I'm not sure yet, and there might be a couple of other events that we'll try and get to as well. But we'll either way, we'll have the crack. Is Beetlejuice part of wrestling on Discovery Channel? I've no idea. No idea at all. But be cool if he was. Hell, slap nuts, huh? Eric, Nia declared herself for the Rumble last night. Oh, very good. So she's in there as well. Yeah, I did the update on this slide there the other day. So interesting to see herself and Becky as well at day 1. How that goes. Lovely. That will be sick. Yeah, I can't wait to go. Are you flat out in the shop? I'm absolutely crazy in the shop at the moment, Stephen. Trying to get stuff in, trying to get stuff out. Nightmare at the minute. Tell you how bad it is. Twice yesterday, I went into a post office. So I did a postal on the way in, and I did a postal drop on the way home. And on both occasions, I was an hour in the post office. And I tell you what really gets my goat up. You know, when you're in the queue in the post office, I have a bunch of parcels and all that kind of stuff with me. But when you're in a queue in the post office and someone walks up to the counter to the teller and they're still packing the box and they've no sellotape and they haven't wrote the address and they haven't filled in all the information, all that, absolutely fries my brain. So annoying. And I'm not even talking about elderly people here. I'm talking about people who should know better. I seen a woman yesterday in the post office, and she was even using the pen. They had a stationery section, and she took a pen out of the stationery section and all to use. Absolutely fried in my brain. And then she was trying to tell me I was being called to a window because she wasn't ready, and she was trying to tell me that was her place in the queue. And I said, well, that's no problem. I'm obviously not in a hurry. I'm here the last hour, but maybe you should come prepared. I said to her, happy Christmas. I'd say they will be selling the Punk promo autos. Punk has been signing loads of them recently. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to get one of those. I actually have a Funko pop up there signed by. I have a Funko pop up there signed by CM Punk. I have a Funko pop up there signed by AJ Lee, and I have an AJ Lee figure in that wardrobe signed by AJ Lee that I got off Toys and Masks. When I was over with Darren at Clash of the Castle, I picked up a few signed bits. So there you go. Sasha Banks is surprised entrance in Women's Royal Rumble. Yeah, that would be it'd be amazing to get her back in all, wouldn't it? The only thing is, I wonder if she came back. I wonder how Naomi would feel, out there on the wind kind of thing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I just want to see. This was some of the red carpet shots from the Iron Claw, folks. I just want to put up there. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't do a review on it and stuff like that. But you can see Chavo was there, who was he was fundamental to the movie in terms of the training and stuff like that. Cena was there, of course, with MJF. I wonder was Cena doing a little bit of the TKO bidding during that meeting. Let me know your thoughts. Then, of course, Kevin Von Erich was there as well with Zac Efron, the boys who played them and all that kind of stuff. Zac Efron played Kevin Von Erich, and I believe it's actually one of Zac Efron's best performances and stuff like that and all. There's Liv. She was there prior to getting into trouble and stuff like that. So, yeah, and this is the shot of the Von Erichs there. Kevin's family and Lacey's there as well, with her family as well. And I think this lad here is the guy. I think it's this lad. He's Lacey's son. I think he's the guy actually in one of the pictures. He was wearing an old robe, like a Kerry Von Erich robe and stuff like that and all. So it was really, really cool. Big family situation and stuff like that. Delighted for Kevin to get it out there and stuff like that. It's been received really, really well. The reviews on it are really, really good. As I said, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 91 or something like that. Looks really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait for it to come out. But yeah, that's the Iron Claw, the Von Erich story, of course. So really look forward to that. Like I said, don't forget, folks, if you want, drop in there your match for 2023. Let me know your match for 2023, and also let me know if Austin's going to wrestle at WrestleMania 40. Who would you like him to face? Let's see. Sasha Banks. Stevens in. Are you selling many figures? I'm selling loads of figures, mate. Loads of figures going out the door. See, we don't really stock the stuff that you generally get in Smiths. We stock a little bit of that at the moment. But we generally have like all of the classic superstars and all that kind of stuff. We would have in the Legends from America. We would have in the Ultimate Editions. I have a couple of those superstar ones from Walmart, the Ric Flair one and stuff like that. I think they did a honky as well and a few others. We would have in the Mattel Creations, the 4-packs of the old retros. Heart Foundation is in there. I'd have all ECW figures in there. Kevin Thorne, Taz. What else have I got? I've got some retros in there. I think Samoa Joe's in there. AJ Styles is in there. Orton. I even have a double pack. There you go. One for you, Stephen. I have a double pack of Gemini. Double pack of Gemini is in the shop. There you go. So there you go. Aces, Sami Zayn, Carson, Drew McIntyre World Heavyweight Championship on Raw Day 1. Interesting. Aces, I wonder did MJF call Cena Fruity Pebbles? I don't know. I'd say Cena might have been slipping into that sort of suit there to maybe do a bit of bidding for WWE and stuff like that. What do you think? Aces, you weren't in earlier as well when the boys said it as well. Apparently MJF has confirmed he hasn't signed a new contract with AEW. What do you think is going to happen there? Because I know you keep your ear close to that stuff. I've sent the link for CCW on your WhatsApp. Sweet pal, I'll take a look at it later if I get a chance. Stephen, when's it coming out? The Iron Claw. I'm not too sure. Like there's listings and stuff like that and all. I'd imagine over here we're going to have to kind of stream it off a site or something like that, aren't we? It's probably going to be on whatever one of those sites, or maybe someone like Netflix or Amazon or someone might pick it up or something like that, or they might do like a paid service through one of the sites or something like that. I'm not too sure whether it's coming into the cinemas over here, although I'd love to see it on the big screen. I have to say, I really would love to see it that way. Looking forward to watching boxing on Saturday night. Yeah, absolutely. I might do a little preview show for that day, I reckon. Actually, I want to take a look at it and stuff like that. And also, might do a little show, maybe a drive time show tomorrow or something on the way home. Let me know your thoughts on the Acers as well. What do you think? Henry, what's the crack, Niall? How's you? I'm all good, Henry. More or less nearly set for Christmas. Few bits to do, but as always, the late push, of course, of trying to make sure everyone from the shop is happy and stuff like that as well. UFC 296 was great pay-per-view. Great seeing Donald Trump entrance with Dana White. Good Lord. Good Lord. I was very, very, very impressed with Paddy Pimblett. He was Paddy the Body. He was excellent against Ferguson. Excellent he was. I thought Jordan's match with Rollins was underrated. It was very much underrated. Although I think I did mention at the time afterwards on one of the shows that I thought Jordan's selling is unbelievable. There you go. Yeah, the Gemini are they two bald fellas, aren't they? Yeah, they are two bald fellas. Yeah, I think if you looked at the pack and you looked away, you would think it's the Bashams, but it's actually Gemini. Uh, Oisin is going dodgy box job. Yeah, maybe a dodgy box job and stuff like that. But I'd love to. Do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to go on a night out with a couple of wrestling fans, have a few beers, and go and see the Iron Claw. I think that'd be really cool. Really, really cool. If you're a wrestling fan on the big screen and stuff like that, would be really cool. MJF has already signed a new contract for AEW. That was signed after he won the AEW Championship at Full Gear 2022. According to reports coming out today, and I think Eric confirmed it as well, MJF is saying that he hasn't signed a new contract. Henry, good to hear. I can't stay. I'm doing a prediction show for the UCL and UEL after yesterday's draw. Excellent, good stuff. Who are you going for, Henry? Who are you picking in it? Interesting stuff. Make sure you check out Henry's channel as well, folks. Don't forget to check out his channel and support him. Paddy said 9-0 in the press conference. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that was just a stab, wasn't it, to get people going? It is hard to know with Maxwell. It is hard to know. Yeah, he loves working to the audience, doesn't he? I really couldn't see him leaving AEW. I don't know. Like if you're a wrestler in AEW at the moment, the money obviously is good, as we can see. But would you be worried? Would you be worried? Soundings coming out of there are not great after him holding the title for ages. Yeah, that's true, I know, but look, business, you know. Are you sure they're not the WOS? They're definitely not the WOS Road Warriors. Enjoy your show. I dropped a like before I go. Absolutely, Henry. Really appreciate your support, pal. I'll check out that show later as well, Henry. Dropping a comment or two and an like as you do. Right, let's get into a bit of history. Where do we begin? 2004. The history is light as well over the next couple of weeks as well, folks. That's why don't forget we want to have a fun show next Wednesday. So if you are a collector, please, if you can, send us on your top 5 items in your collection. And what I'll do is I'll put a slide together for each person. And what we'll do is we'll bring the slide up and we'll chat about them and stuff like that and let people see what they think and all that kind of stuff. So for next week's show, it's going to be a special Collector's Corner edition and if you want to come into the chat and talk about what it was and what the stuff you liked and all that kind of stuff, we'd appreciate that bit of fun. So let's get back into history. 2004, WWE taped their Tribute to the Troops special at Camp Speecher in Tikrit, Iraq. The main event saw Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio defeat Kurt Angle and Luther Reigns. Remember Luther Reigns? Wow, 2004. That would have been the first Christmas of the shop, guys. We opened in 2004. So there you go. Aces is in. Stevie Cooper sacked by Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Nuno. What do you make of Nuno going in as well? Strange. I find AEW a very boring show other than a few of the wrestlers I like. Yeah, I think that's the general consensus in there anyway, Oshin. 1999, WCW Starrcade took place at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. The main event is most remembered as being the match that led to the end of Bret Hart's career. The specific instance saw Goldberg land an errant kick to Hart's head in their WCW Championship match that led to severe concussion issues, forcing the Hitman to retire. Hart won the match by disqualification. 1999. Terrible. 2012, the long-term publisher of WWE's video games, THQ, filed for bankruptcy. Sent shockwaves down the gaming situation, didn't it? And Take-Two would take over the WWE license and release their first title, WWE 2K13, the following year. Let us know your thoughts on this, the transition for you gamers out there, THQ to Take-Two. I know they changed up the engine and stuff like that, didn't they? But I'm not a gamer, so I wouldn't have a clue. The C2 tournament is really good, though, in my opinion. No, it is. I agree. So Kenny Dalglish is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award on BBC Sports Personality Awards now. Absolutely. I did a little thing on it today. Absolutely brilliant. It'll be out tomorrow, but Kenny, the absolute king, isn't he? Crown Jewel 2023 DVD is final DVD release in Europe this week. Absolutely. Be in the store, I think, on Friday, as far as I know. We will be getting in, though, for you collectors, we will be getting in the American version of Survivor Series to complete your year. So let me know if anyone is looking for that. Let me know. I'll be picking them up when I'm over at the Rumble. 2003 WWE taped Christmas from Baghdad at Camp Victory in Baghdad, Iraq. The show was later renamed as the first tribute to the troops event and aired in SmackDown's usual time slot on Christmas Day. John Cena defeated the Big Show in the main event, and the night was capped off by Vince McMahon receiving a Stone Cold Stunner from Santa Claus. Of course, it was revealed afterwards that Santa was, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin. There you go. The first tribute to the troops renamed. 2015, WWE presented the Slammy Awards on an episode of Raw. The Superstar of the Year award went to Seth Rollins, with the Usos taking the Tag Team of the Year. That's back in 2015, folks. 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Rollins, Superstar of the Year. Usos, Tag Team of the Year. 8 years ago. And look at the legacy they've built since then. 1998 on Raw's War in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Raven defeated Steve Blackman to capture the WWF Hardcore Championship. We all remember Steve Blackman, don't we? Well, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Eric, I think the only problem with the C2 tournament is that the reward is a bit messy, with the winner getting 3 titles, as if there wasn't already enough titles in AEW. Isn't that it? Isn't that just typical of what happens? You put on a really, really good tournament, and then that's what happens, and that's kind of then what it gets recognized for and stuff like that. But yeah, you're spot on, Eric. Belts for days and all. You see it in boxing as well. Do you ever watch boxing fights at the moment where there's just a whole clatter of belts behind these guys? It's absolutely crazy. Acers, WWE also released Best of Santa Claus DVD this month. Yeah, no, that's okay. They can hang on to that one if they want. 2010. If I mentioned the name Caval, of course, you'd know better known as Low Key, was released from WWE just 6 months after making his televised debut. I said it when he came in, first of all. I have a lot of respect for Low Key. I think he's an unbelievable competitor and stuff like that. He was never the home for Low Key, that's for sure. Right, let's get into some notable birthdays and then you can enjoy your football and the darts and all that. Don't forget, Frank Irwin's coming up later against Barry, isn't he? So that's going to be interesting, especially for us Irish guys. Notable birthdays, of course. Trish Stratus, 1975. I don't know if you see the pictures that Trish posted the other day. I think she posted them yesterday as well, and today. Wow, she looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. She hasn't aged a day. Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night, of course. Raw VD, 1970. We leave the big one till the end, of course. Armando Estrada, 1978, the ex-manager of Umaga, celebrates his birthday. Otis, 1991. Primo, 1982. The Outlaw Ron Bass, 1948. Luke Gallows, 1983. Jamie Noble, 1976. The Great Muta, 1962. Christopher Daniels, 1971. R.I.P. Andre Baker, 1964, would have celebrated his birthday this week. Close links, of course, with Fight Factory and UK Hammerlock and all that kind of stuff, and NWA Ireland, of course. Andre Baker, pivotal in Fergal Devitt's career and stuff. Ricky Knight, 1953, father of Paige. Cassius Ono. And I go, oh no. Chris Hero, 1979. Cassius Ono, that was just shocking. Big fan of Chris Hero, though. And of course, we rounded out with 1964. None other than the rattlesnake himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin, celebrates his birthday this week as well. Let's take some of your comments. Acers. Tony Khan revealed new Ring of Honor Women TV Championship at Final Battle on Friday night. He did. It's just FTR and Mark Briscoe defeated Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, I like the sound of that. I haven't seen it though, but I must have a look. My wife's birthday is on the 23rd of December, right before Christmas. So a shout out, Eno. Drop us the name and we'll tell her happy birthday to Eno's wife, 23rd of December. My own sister Jane as well, I'll give her a shout out as well. Her birthday is the 24th. She was born, the 25th. She was born on Christmas Day. So it's kind of a long year If you're born on Christmas Day, you get your Christmas and your birthday, and then you have 12 months to wait. There's nothing in between. But shout out to my sister Jane. Happy birthday. Her birthday coming up on the 25th of December, born on Christmas Day. Stephen's in. Umaga was unreal. I have all of his figures. Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple, Stephen, of the we have a couple of Umaga Unmatched Fury statues, you know, the big ones. And we have some of them in the shop, actually. Loved Umaga. What a character. He was unbelievable. I always remember the one where he fight Lashley, was it, in the cage match? And Lashley came flying out, hit the side of the cage and popped it out onto him and stuff like that. No, it was unbelievable. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the brand one as well, wasn't it? Batista versus Umaga at 24. Teddy Long it was and stuff. Yeah, so that was really cool as well. What a character Umaga would have been, especially around at the moment. Imagine Umaga and the bloodline and all that kind of stuff. So Kenny Dalglish walking out to You'll Never Walk Alone now on BBC One. Absolutely. I'm going to catch on the replay later. Rikishi is coming to Comic-Con Northern Ireland. Awesome. Awesome. There you go. Also Trish Stratus. Wow, Metrish down in HMV with Kurt Angle. Absolute lady she was. And the best of all, Chile. There you go. Remember the Trump and Lashley versus Vinny and Umaga? Yeah, absolutely. Remember them shaving Vinny's head? Good Lord, they were taking chunks out of him. Chunks out of him. Alan Hansen and Mark Lawrence and Phil Thompson on stage now. Absolutely. Liverpool royalty. Foley, yeah. Foley loves the cons, doesn't he? Foley will go to a con in someone's backyard, wouldn't he? He loves those cons. Must make great money at them. Yeah, completely butchered it. Yeah, absolutely. And just Vince in the chair, and he was screaming and the cream and everything. And listen, only Vince McMahon would do that, wouldn't he? Crazy stuff. Roman doesn't come close to Yokozuna. Don't know about that. That's a different level of boredom, isn't it? Mick loves the fans, to be fair. He does. He loves the interaction. So wasn't he over at the one in Liverpool as well? And he headed up and he took pictures outside Anfield and all that kind of stuff and all. Fowley's very aware of what he's doing at times and stuff like that. And fair play to him. Morris also sent me something there. I don't know if you've seen it. You know, I'm kind of on a buzz at the moment. We'll finish up with this. This whole Undertaker situation and the cost of these things for people to go to and stuff like that. And a little story again, I'll tell you. I remember when it started with Fozzy and with Jericho back in the day, where they were charging 150 for a VIP, and you got to go to a meal and all that stuff and meet the band and all that type of stuff. And I said, the more people that do this, the worse this is going to get. And I seen there today they're advertising Undertaker meet and greet, and I think it's the Dead Man Show or whatever it is in Australia. It must be in Perth during the Elimination Chamber week or something like that. $796. Let that sink in. $796 to meet the Undertaker in Australia during Elimination Chamber week, I presume. And I just think Morris sent it today as well. Myself and Morris are on the same page. To me, that is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting to be charging that type of money. It's such, and you know, people are going to pay it, and it's such a ridiculous level of greed. It just doesn't need to be that way. It's disgusting. Foley and Hogan are my joint favourites. Absolutely. I was thinking, Stephen, speaking of costs and stuff like that, Hogan is doing a signing at the Beach Shop Rumble weekend. He's charging $300, I think it was. So let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think? I'm hemming and hawing on it, you know what I mean? Like, I've never met Hogan, and he is one on the bucket list to complete things and stuff, you know. So let me know your thoughts. I have this awesome Foley DVD with a lot of his early stuff against Vader and stuff like that. Incredible stuff. It's when it gets really, really down into the tough stuff. That's when I back off a bit, Stephen. I'm not a huge fan of the hardcore stuff. Acers, Undertaker doing show night after Rumble. Yeah, he can do it on his own. He won't be getting it off me, that's for sure. I wouldn't pay $300, let alone $750. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. I mean, but how does it have to be that level of greed? You know, I mean, how much do you need to make? And I know it's probably not necessarily just directly him setting the actual price of the tickets, because obviously it's a promoter who does this, but obviously his fee is a huge part of what goes into that ticket sale. Obviously, you've got venue costs and all the other stuff as well that goes with it and stuff like that. But surely a lot of that price is being driven by his fee. Apparently, is extortionate. I've spoken to people at some of the cons stuff like that, and I've a fair idea what they're paying, and it's just it's horrendous, horrendous. They really milk the fans. They do really milk the fans. And look, I love going to the WrestleCons and stuff like that. I love going around and meeting Hacksaw, Powers of Pain, Demolition, Slick, Akeem, Kevin Sullivan, all these guys. I love meeting Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, all these people and stuff like that. I don't mind paying 50, 60 bucks for a sign, get a figure sign and get a picture and stuff like that. If a guy has the brass neck to ask me for 800 quid for something like that, he can take a hike. And I believe he was charging as well. I think we spoke about it on a previous show as well. If you wanted to have a toast with him and have a drink with him, he was charging 1,200. It's absolutely disgusting. And any of you Undertaker fans out there, I'm telling you now, you should turn around and turn your back on that and don't be feeding that monster, because next time it's going to be $1,000, and the time after that it's going to be 1,500, and before you know it, to stand beside that man and get an autograph and a picture is going to be $2,000, and you'll be wondering why it all happened. And yous are the guys that are feeding it. If he rocks up and none of those tickets sells, they'll change the pricing. You would need to take out a personal loan. Absolutely, absolutely. Imagine how much those fans already in Australia are paying. Big bucks for the Elimination Chamber, I'm sure. There's probably a whole host of WWE events. I got sent stuff for the Rumble that they're doing a brunch at the Rumble with a number of wrestlers and all that. So I kind of breakfasty brunch type of thing. $350. $350. Lads, I went to WrestleMania 22 and we got the silver package. And I think the whole of the silver package was $600. And I got to sit in the Rosemont Theatre at the Hall of Fame, where they gave you a Golden Boss brochure and a medallion medal. I got them to see induct Bret Hart and Eddie Guerrero into the Hall of Fame. I went to WrestleMania. I went to a Midday Madness where I met about 10 wrestlers. I went to a bagels and brunch thing the morning of it as well. I got to meet Joey Styles, Sherry Martel, Animal Out of the Road Warriors, all these people. And it was all in on the price. When I arrived, they gave me we got, I think, the jerseys, we got backpacks, we got the teddy bear things and all that kind of stuff. It's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten ridiculous. It's out of hand. And people need to start fighting with their feet and stop putting their bums in their seats to be doing this and all, Where are we now? Stephen, I love the hardcore stuff with the tax and the barbed wire and stuff like that. I'm the absolute opposite. I don't mind if it's called for within a match and stuff like that. Like if you think when I was at Mania 22, I enjoyed Foley and Edge, because there was a kind of a backstory line to it and stuff like that. No, but just that kind of, when you see it in AEW and the way they do it and stuff like that, and that game changer wrestling stuff like that, that doesn't interest me at all. Michelle McCool lifestyle isn't cheap. Come on, Acers. $796 per person. Can't be that expensive, her lifestyle. Personally, I like Hogan the wrestler more than Hogan the person. I think most people are that way, aren't they? What's the crack? Well, all good, Daz. Hope you're enjoying it. I'd say, Daz, you're loving the darts at the moment, eh? Loving it, I'd say. Stephen, they take advantage of the fans. They do. They really, really do. And the thing about it, especially with The Undertaker as well, his fan base has been so loyal. They have spent a fortune. The volume of Undertaker stuff we've sold over the last 20 years is absolutely incredible. And these people, they absolutely love the dead man. They love Taker. They worship him and stuff like that and all. And that's why I feel so bad about it. That's why I feel so engaged in it and stuff like that and all. You know what I mean? These people have followed him for so long. And yet, right at the tail end of this, when you want to hear his stories on the road, when you want to meet him, when you want to get a piece signed by him, so you have it as a Taker fan, stuff like that, he's absolutely jacksing you from behind. It's disgraceful. Hope it doesn't. Absolutely. Stephen, did you meet Hacksaw and all them in Ireland? No, I met them at WrestleCons over in the US and stuff like that. Hacksaw's an absolute gentleman. Hacksaw talked to you all day. He's absolutely brilliant. I like going meeting guys like him. I met the Blue Meanie as well and guys like that, really cool guys and stuff like that. And you don't forget that as well, because a few months ago, of course, I was closed on a Sunday and the Blue Meanie was in town and he rocked up to the shop and he sent me a picture on Instagram of him outside the shop and he was doing that stuff and all. So it was really, really cool. But I spoke to him in the States and all and stuff like that. He's an absolute gentleman. I love meeting those guys, you know what I mean? Dino got to meet Johnny Gargano when we were over there, I think, and he was talking to Johnny Gargano for about 20 minutes, and Dino was about to become a father, and Johnny had just become a father and all, and they were just talking back and forward about fatherhood for about 20 minutes. People were just walking by, and the two boys were just sitting there talking about becoming fathers, and it's just they're the moments. They're kind of brilliant that you take with you and stuff like that. Johnny Gargano, what a human being, absolute gent. But they're the guys I like meeting. I like meeting the older guys and stuff like that and all, you know. Just some of my biggest regrets. My biggest regrets was I never got to meet Macho Man. I would have loved to meet Macho Man. And I never got to meet Warrior. I would have loved to meet Warrior. I had a chance in Manchester and I didn't take the chance, and I regret it to this day. And that's why I'm kind of thinking with the Hogan one. I'm not too sure. I haven't met him, you know what I mean? And he has to be on my list. He's such a big part of what wrestling was to me, because I started watching wrestling so early in the 80s and stuff like that. So Hogan had such a big, profound effect on my wrestling stardom. At the end of the day, The Undertaker is just a man like the rest of us that couldn't care less about you. Yeah. Look, well, the price will tell you that, wouldn't it? If fans are desperate for something, they will pay the big bucks. Absolutely, absolutely. I had a guy in today with me. He's going off with his I think his father or his girlfriend's father or something like that, and they're heading off to Philly, and I think they paid 3,600 for the package or something like that. With wrestling travel, I think they're called. Massive money, massive money. Your Undertaker auto was like over 250 or something. Yeah, no, it's crazy, crazy stuff. Do you look at Taker differently after this stunt, Noel? I've put it out there before, Rush in on the podcast and stuff like that. I am not an Undertaker fan. I can appreciate what he did, but I'm not actually an Undertaker fan. So for me, it doesn't affect me directly, but I hate it when I see other fans being absolutely leaned over, and especially when they've invested so much in him. Kane seems cool, but the mayor of Knox County comes across as a dick. Yeah, absolutely. It's he's just, it's so strange, isn't it? Like his commentary about the gun laws and stuff like that are very weird. Now, obviously, it's hard for us to comprehend it as well. But I think what really rubs people up the wrong way with that stuff is the fact it's the timing of it. He seems to come out after these shootings and stuff like that to make his case or plead his case and stuff like that and all. And I just think it comes across in really bad taste and stuff like that. You know, you've got parents out there, especially if you get school shootings and stuff like that. You've got parents out there really hurting after losing their kids and stuff like that. That's not the time to be coming out talking about it. That kind of stuff should be solved when that stuff isn't going on. You know, so it's a tough one. World's End next week absolutely does. Mentioned it earlier in the show, World's End, and also the same night does as well. We have CM Punk versus Dominic Mysterio. CM Punk's first match back in WWE. What was a Kane like? I hope they make a Kane and one man gang figures. I have a Kane figure here somewhere and a one man gang. I actually have, Stephen. I'll dig it out for you. I have a one man gang figure signed by him. I met him. I met him and I met Slick. I met him, Slick, Powers of Pain, the Warlord Barbarian, and Demolition. I met them all on the last trip as well. And then I met DiBiase again, and I met Jake again, and stuff like that. Because I always have another figure that I find. Shout out to Graham Cummins as well. Graham hit me up today as well. He said that they had chase versions of Ted DiBiase in Smiths today in Tala. I've been searching for one of those Legends chase ones where he's in the white gear as well. Graham picked up one for me today, so that's one I'll probably try and get signed if they're doing that at the Rumble. I have a DiBiase figure over there already signed, and I also have a reproduction of the Hasbro on the yellow card as well. That's signed by him as well, so big fan of the $1 Million Man. The only wrestler I met was Edge. He was cool. Edge came into the shop, as you know, and stuff like that one evening with Beth Phoenix, and we did chat for about 40 minutes. Lovely fella, so down to earth and stuff like that. Great guy, and Beth she's just an absolute star. Believe it or not, I'm the same. Kane always scared the crap out of me. Now he's scaring the crap out of people, and that's just as a mayor. How much were average Clash at the Castle tickets? We bought them on the pre-sale. So I think we paid somewhere in the region, was it 65 or 70 pound or something like that, and then whatever the booking fees were and stuff like that. But I think it worked out about 70, whatever it was anyway. I think we got them in the pre-sale. So it wasn't too bad. I think it was in around that, maybe a little bit more. Don't quote me on it. But I tell you, I was sitting beside guys in the stand at Clash the Castle, and we were well up in the stands as well. We weren't close or anything like that. But there was two guys sitting beside me for the exact same tickets, and they paid 260 sterling for those tickets compared to what we paid. So there you go. That tells you. Crazy. This whole algorithm thing that they have working on the ticket prices now in relation to Ticketmaster and stuff like that is absolutely crazy. I felt it. I felt it for WrestleMania. The reason I'm going to the Rumble was I was supposed to go to WrestleMania. I had tickets for about, I think, 575 for the 2 nights, and the boys told me to hold off till the Friday. Held off till the Friday. Same tickets were 950. Same tickets were 950, and that's 2 rows in the back. They wanted me to pay 950. I like the Undertaker, but I don't love him like some people do. Yeah, I'm the same. I'd be somewhat of a fan. I can appreciate what he did and stuff like that. I was in the stadium at 25 in Houston when it was Heaven and Hell, him versus Shawn Michaels. The first one was unbelievable, and I can appreciate it. And I know why people love him to death, and he's iconic and stuff like that. No, but for me, not even as a huge fan as well, the streak and all ended with a bit of a sour taste, to be honest. I think a lot of fans were screwed over in relation to that and stuff, and it left a bad taste. So, what do you think of Smith selling the Legends figures for 32 at retail? Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, I think it's great. If you're a collector, it's great. Especially for me, because remember, what people forget as well, not only am I a retail shop, but I'm also a big collector as well. So I love them at those prices as well. So yeah, some of the Legends are cool. Some of them are a little bit debatable and stuff like that. I do like the packaging and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Clash was such a good event. It was brilliant. And O'Shane, it's the audience, isn't it? The audience in there makes it as well. That blend of the UK and European audience are so educated. So you don't get all the bullshit that you get at some shows and stuff like that. It's just a real good wrestling show. And it was quality as well. And it was quality from start to finish. Brilliant. Great stadium as well. Backlash tickets on sale now. Yeah, I'd have literally no interest in going to France. No interest at all. Ridiculous, yeah. Should be 25 like the rest of them. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah. Do you know what the secret is, Stephen? The secret is to hold off for a couple of weeks. I find if you hold off for a couple of weeks, the prices shoot right down pretty quick, and you can pick up a few bargains and stuff like that. Because actually, as far as I know, the DiBiase ones that are there at the moment, and if you pick up the Chase, I think they're $24.99 for the DiBiase one. So 25 quid for a Chase DiBiase Legend figure, to me, is sweet as pie. Sweet. Aces, have you seen the card for World's End? I actually had a slide on it somewhere, didn't I? Let me see, can I find it as? I'm not sure if I have everything on it, but I definitely did up a slide for it. Let me see, did I miss it somewhere? Maybe this one is. No. Hang on now. I might have a slide here for World's End that we can finish up on. No, it's not that one. No, I can't find it. I did have a slide for World's End, but look, we'll do a review of it anyway, that's for sure. I'd love to go to a Rumble someday. Absolutely, man. If you're a wrestling fan, you have to get over to the States to one of these events. They're unbelievable. Incredible. World's End card will be announced tomorrow night on Dynamite. Yeah, I think they've announced some of it already, haven't they? Is MJF and Joe, isn't it? MJF and Joe was the main event, as far as I know. I had such a great weekend. Started, hopped off the plane, got a taxi down to the castle and met Sheamus. Then woke up the next day, went back and met Rey Mysterio, watched the Liverpool Everton derby. Yeah, Ushin, well, I tell you, I had a similar day. We got off, we ferried over and we drove across Wales for about 5 hours, going through every single valley in Wales. What a beautiful country. And we went to, first of all, to Toys and Masks, and we picked up some signed stuff and some old school figures that you'd only get there, old WCW ones, and all. It was really cool. Love working with those guys and all. Great guys over there in Toys and Masks. Check them out as well. They're on Instagram and they also have a website, but they always get in cool, unique stuff. And then we went to the store. We went to the WWE store and we met We met Bulldog's daughter and his family and his dad and all that kind of stuff, which was really, really cool. Then we went over to WrestleFest and we met Bret Hart and stuff like that. Bret Hart was there, and Mickey James and Nick Aldis and Tyson Fury. There was a bunch of them there. The Mountie was there as well. So we went. We were mainly going to meet Bret Hart. And I've met him a few times. He's been in the shop twice, but we met Bret Hart. But while I was in the queue for Bret Hart, I was queuing for about 2 hours, and that's where I was watching the Merseyside Derby on my phone. Shocking game to say the least. Actually, probably should have lost it. The Bulldog figure was in our shop today, and the Rock 5 on each. Wow. Which shop is that, Daz? Let me know what shop that is, my friend. The Bulldog figure and our shop and the Rock 5 each. Wow. That's great. Daz, I need to be hitting you up, my friend. All the WWE fans then came to the event. Yeah, it was cool. Absolutely cool. After I went to an Italian restaurant and Gunther walked in and sat beside me. That's very cool, though, Shane, isn't it? That's very, very cool. Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing, Cardiff on a Saturday night, absolutely hopping. AW Dynamite is live and taped show for following week episode. Interesting. Yeah, they always tape around this time. It's good as well. I like what Triple H is doing as well, giving them time off and taping shows and stuff like that as well. They do really need to spend those special times with their families, stuff that, and especially when you look at a lot of the roster members out there as well. It's not kind of like, back a while ago and stuff like that. A lot of these people now are in relationships and they have kids and stuff like that. I did hear Lacey Von Erich the other day. She was on not Lacey Von Erich, Lacey Evans. She was on, I think, the Chris Van Vliet show as well. And she was talking about how she doesn't miss WWE at all. When she was there, she absolutely hated it and all that kind of stuff and all. And she didn't like being away from her family and all that kind of thing. And also, it's not for everyone, It's not for everyone. Where am I? Here, Moshe. Yeah, after our meals, had a little chat and a mess. Then he posed for some snaps with me. Class. That's what you want, isn't it? And isn't that really what makes your weekend when you stumble across something like that and they turn out to be really, really nice and all that kind of thing? Really, really cool. OTT are actually doing their own version of a Royal Rumble, it seems. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they have a Rumble coming up. Absolutely. Big boxing on Saturday, Niall. Yeah, absolutely does. I'll do a preview for that day of reckoning. I'll have a look at it, get some information, and do my homework on it, let's say. So yeah, Acers was saying it the other night as well. Boxing starts at 4. You got a full day of football, darts, got everything going on. Mental. Great day. Great build up into Christmas. The new Monday Night Wars figures are exclusive to Smiths. Great to see the American stuff hitting Ireland. Finally, yeah, especially for us collectors. I do like the boxes as well. The boxes are pretty cool. Interesting selection for Series 1, though, Stephen. That's the only thing. Boxing starts at 4 before Liverpool versus Arsenal. Yeah, so it should be interesting. That might be one of those days where you might have to have TV, laptop, and phone all going. It'd be like the Gillette Soccer Saturday studio or something like that. I'm surprised there's not much vintage toy shops in Ireland. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just it's the way things have evolved and stuff like that. Now, we always kind of try and bring in a selection. If you drop into the store, we would have a lot of nostalgia in there as well. We would have a lot of retro and all that kind of stuff, So we try and keep it 100 as well. That it's not all just up to date stuff and all. Like you'll always find Bret Hart shirts. You'll always find a mixer. Actually, we got in the other day Raw's War shirts and stuff like that, and they sold out and stuff like that. We have in at the moment. We have Thunder shirts. We have Starcade shirts. We've Saturday Night's Main Event shirts. We've all the old stuff in there at the moment. It's really, really cool. It's a real throwback, and it's a passion of mine to mix it all up and stuff like that. That it's not just the new, there's history in their legacy, and it's mad. Some of the dads come in with their kids at the moment, and the dads, of course, would remember Starcade and Saturday Night's Main Event and stuff like that, and they'd be telling the kids the stories about how they were watching these shows and stuff. Charity shop, Noel. Oh, nice. You should be picking them up, Daz. They're lovely little gold nuggets. I love when people go into charity shops and find those gold nuggets. Beautiful country, yeah, absolutely. Wales. We drove right across it. We're all through the valleys and everything and stuff like that. Just stopping off at little shops here and there in villages and all, and it was so cool. Would love to go back. Yeah, I'd love to go back there again. Definitely, if that came up, that would be one I'd go to. Full of sluts on a Saturday night. Good Lord, Acers. Middlesbrough 3-0 up. Yeah, I expected that to happen. Gunther was probably the nicest wrestler I've ever met, yeah. And isn't that the surprise, O'Shane, as well? Because you think about the character, you'd expect him to nearly turn around, chop you across the table or something like that. He turns out to be just a nice guy, you know. I get Ric Flair vibes from Gunther. Yeah. Don't know. Don't think he'd be that money orientated. I don't think. About time. I'm sick of seeing all the Target and Walmart exclusive stuff. Still some nice stuff coming out though for Target and Walmart and stuff like that. I do like a trip to both those stores. We tend to do that the first day we get there. We'll hit up the Walmarts and the Targets and see what we can find. Well, what's your opinion on fans calling wrestlers by their real names? Do you remember that time I was in the shop and some guy was talking about Mysterio and calling him his real name? Hard conversation. It is a hard conversation, absolutely. I would never, I don't do that. I just don't, for me, I just don't do that because it's just, it's just not my thing. I think it's a kind of, it comes across as a bit of a brash kind of way of being, doesn't it really? Like you're this super cool, educated wrestling fan or something like that. You know what I mean? It's, look, if you're a wrestling fan, Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio, isn't he? Why would you call him anything else? You know what I mean? It just I think if you start spouting out the real names, I think it's kind of like you come across a bit dickish. I think it's a bit dickish. It's like you've done your homework or something like that. That's for me. You seen my approach that day in the shop, didn't you? When I said it, you know how I feel about it, Shane. I found about 50 Hasbro figures in a charity shop and got the lot for 10. Stephen, that's sensational. Sensational, man. That's like striking gold, isn't it? It's like striking gold. Interesting to see what's in store for Sting's last match. Interesting. Absolutely. Yeah. Can I order a Black Raw's War t-shirt in XL or double XL? Yeah, absolutely. The ones that came in are white, but sure we'd have no problem getting the black as well. Absolutely. I'll start the old school ones. Absolutely. Breaking kayfabe. Yeah, absolutely. It's mad, isn't it? What's the crack absolutely. Right, that's it, folks. Another Pro Wrestling Weekly in the bag. As I said, next week, if you're a collector, send us on 5 pictures. We'll do a slide. We'll have a bit of crack. Also, continue in the comments if you want to talk about what your favourite match of 2023 was, who you think Stone Cold should face at Mania, if it's going to happen, all those good stuff and all. Of course, as you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, follow us on all the socials. We're out there, TikTok, we're on Spotify for the audios and Google Podcasts and Amazon Music. Listen, it's been a wonderful year. We will put together a show as well, looking back at 2023, and you can give us your moments and the stuff that you enjoyed and some of the key matches throughout the year and all that kind of stuff, the dissolving of the bloodline and all that kind of stuff. How did you feel about it after X amount of years? Was that the way to go with it, the way it's dissolved and what you're expecting and all? And we'll talk about what your expectations are for 2024. What do you want to see happen? But until next time, folks, an absolute pleasure as always. Follow any of the channels in the chat as well. Always great to see you in there. Eno's in. Great show. We are over and out. Ushin's in. See you later, Noel. Have a good Crimbo. Absolutely. To all you people out there as well. Have a fantastic Christmas. Really, really special time. Hope you get all the wrestling stuff that you want. Aces is in. Austin isn't wrestling at WrestleMania 40. We shall see. And nothing is confirmed at this stage yet. Subscribe to the channel. Talk to you again real soon. I will be back on Thursday for Thursday Tier Talk with Dazzler. I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say about Arsenal and the United Liverpool game. A lot of Arsenal fans not too happy with his comments from last week, so we shall see. Eric, great to see you in there, mate. Thanks for joining us as always. Statman Stubbs is live soon. I'll see you on Thursday. Absolutely. I'll check out Stevie's channel now. And Rich gets the last one. Happy Christmas, Noel. Happy Christmas to all of you in the chat and all of our subscribers and all the people who follow us. It's been a great year, and we'll talk to you again real soon.